My name is Dan Dorval, and I'm President and CEO of Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. I am an independent certified financial planner and author of my book, Financial Success for the Rest of Us, Reality-Based Financial Planning for Mainstream America.
Hi, my name is Leah Woodley. I'm an associate financial advisor with Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. Our conversations discuss what it means to do quality of life planning in all areas of your life. Well, Dan, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
we
Thanksgiving to you too.
Thank you. So today we are talking about being content on this Thanksgiving Day. So, how do you personally define contentment when it comes to your personal finances and just your life in general?
Well, it's a difficult question because we're all different. And so our focus in financial planning is always based on quality of life. And quality of life, as we talk about all the time, is inherently personal. So it's your values and priorities and motivations and goals. So I think we talk a lot in our society about trying to be happy, trying to be content. And it's an endless journey. Even if you felt like you're in a great place right now, that can change in a heartbeat. And so that focus on quality of life rather than just all the noise of the world around us and everything that's going on and the busyness and all of that, trying to find a place where you are aligning your resources as efficiently as you can with whatever is important to you. For me personally, I think that's where that contentment is. And of course, on Thanksgiving, the idea of being able to express gratitude in some way, shape, or form, whether that's for your family, your friends, maybe it's just being able to have a good meal on Thanksgiving. If you can show gratitude in some way, shape, or form, I think that's a great move towards contentment.
I agree so much with what you said. I think it is really important that you focus on your quality of life and being appreciative and thankful for any and everything. For me, contentment is having peace. Um, I think the less stress I have, the more content I am. So I think that is a big key for me, and just treasuring time with family, time with friends, even the small things. I love to garden. So doing things like that, that makes me content. I'm not Material things don't necessarily make me content, but those type of things make me content. And just really, like you said, being appreciative of everything that I do have. So, was there any specific moment or experience that helped you to realize what enough meant for you? I know, especially being a male, because I think sometimes men are driven by having more, more, more. Um, so, was there a point in your life where you defined what enough meant for you?
Well, obviously, again, just like contentment, enough, that concept is going to be undefinable across a lot of people. It's an arbitrary construct of whatever matters to us the most. So, one of the things we talk about in financial planning all the time is this difference between it's just a philosophical fundamental difference between saving and accumulating or paying down debt. So if I have income, if I have resources, we often get asked, well, should I save that or should I use it to pay down debt, for example? And what we see all the time is if people focus their resources on accumulating more and more and more, the issue is psychologically, human beings, we really don't have this concept of enough. We love to measure things. And so that's what numbers are all about. And if I have $10,000, I'd rather have $20,000. If I have $1 million, I'd rather have $2 million because more is a measuring stick for us to say, well, we're doing better. Whether people are measuring their steps, whether they're measuring their savings, we still always strive for more. And that strive for more creates stress, expectations, anxiety. It creates a lot of those issues. Now, conversely, the beauty of paying down debt is we can bring in this concept of enough. Because
Mhm.
if I have a $2,000 credit card debt and now I really focus on trying to pay that down in some way, and now I make that last payment on that debt, whether it's a mortgage or anything else, when I make that last payment, I have fundamentally improved my financial situation because the next month I don't have that payment. I now have more cash flow available to direct in some other way towards my quality of life. And so I've reached enough, at least as it
Mhm.
relates to that one specific goal. So we often try to reposition that perspective of enough away from so much on saving and accumulating towards if I can pay down debt, it is a profoundly positive financial experience.
I agree. I think paying down debt is one of the most powerful things that you can do. I actually had a meeting yesterday where there was a couple in that same situation. Should I be saving or should I pay off debt? And for them, the answer was definitely you need to focus on paying off debt, and just the freedom that comes with that, the peace of mind that comes with that, and the flexibility to do the things that bring you quality of life. That's important.
Well, we aren't dealing with, in general, super high income people or super high net worth people. Almost everybody we help has limited resources in some way. And it's so critically important to align those resources with what's most important to you. And I can tell you, your question was, when did I know like I had enough? And I focused pretty relentlessly on just paying down debt because if you can do that, that freedom takes a lot off of your plate as far as stress and other things that life is hard enough as it is. The last thing I want to worry about is being able to afford our house or other things. So when I paid off our house, I had to write a fairly sizable check at that point, and that feeling was pretty weird to say, okay, I'm taking a lot of money out of savings, investments, and feeling like maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. But at
Mhm.
the same time, as soon as I paid that mortgage off, it was such a relief, for people to get that weight off their shoulder and know that next month I have a really big payment that's no longer there. That's when I felt like, okay, things started to get pretty easy. Now
Yes.
I have more cash flow than I need because I don't have payments, and I could then realign that cash flow with other things. And it made it easier for me to take trips or to buy things that might enhance our quality of life because I'm inherently a saver, not a spender. To have
Mhm.
that, permission of being able to spend was easier when we were debt free.
That's awesome. Did you do anything special to celebrate, or was it just like another day?
No, it's, we didn't celebrate anything like that. A lot of people do, they'll have their mortgage burning or something like that. I will tell you that I had a client where we had talked to them about paying off their mortgage. They aggressively worked on it for a few years and they got to the point where they paid it off. And he called me from work, and he was talking in a very low tone. And he goes, I'm at work and I just wanted to call you because I can't talk to any of my coworkers about the fact that I just paid off my mortgage because
Mhm.
it just feels so weird. I don't want to feel like I'm bragging or, anything like that. No, I have coworkers who are talking about refinancing their mortgages and things like that. And for me to pay it off, I just feel like I can't even talk to other people about it. And so I'm calling you to tell you how good it feels. And he couldn't talk in a high voice because there were people around.
Wow. I think actually it can be inspiring for other people to know somebody personally that has done it. I think it's really, I mean, your story inspires me. So I think it's really inspiring to just know someone who does it. And that can be motivation for another person to do it for themselves as well.
But we read, we hear, we see, there's friends, family, coworkers, there's social media, and you get all these people saying, well, no, you shouldn't pay off your mortgage, or
Mhm.
debt, like paying off all debt is a bad thing because you could use that money to maybe earn a higher return somewhere else. And we talk so much about life and specifically retirement being a cash flow puzzle. It's not
Mhm.
how much money you have, it's how much do I need to maintain the quality of life that I want to have?
Yeah.
And then what are my resources available to do that? And we are used to spending income. We're not used to spending savings or investments or things like that. And I had a meeting yesterday where this woman had done a great job of saving, and she had more than enough to be able to retire. And yet, at the same time, talking about the concept of using her IRA, which was substantial, in order to create some income for her to travel and do things that bring her quality of life, she was resistant to that idea. She'd been
Mm.
saving for decades to accumulate this. She felt proud of what she had accomplished. And now, if we tell her to spend some of that money, she feels like she has less. It's so counter to everything she's
Mm.
been doing. And shifting our mindset from saving and accumulating to spending is really hard for most of us. And at the same time, what did you save it for if
Right.
not retirement and improving quality of life?
Yeah, it definitely takes a perspective change. And I do see that come up sometimes in our meetings. I think sometimes that's where having a balance comes into play just throughout your lifetime, balancing quality of life and your financial goals, because then it doesn't become so difficult when you get to the point of retirement to spend money because you've kind of been living, having the quality of life that you've desired all along. So, yeah,
And that comes all the way back to that contentment.
yeah,
If you are aligning your resources, our definition of financial planning in our meetings is aligning your resources to have consistently good quality of life over an entire lifetime. We want you to
right.
have good quality of life today. We want you to have good quality of life in the future. And for almost everyone we help, that means they have to work on balance
Yes.
between spending today and doing things today, which are important, but also saving and accumulating for the future. And for so many of us, that's a difficult balance to strike. And then that's where that noise comes into play, where we feel
Mhm.
like, are we doing the right things? So having someone like us with an outside perspective to say, it's okay to spend on those things that like experiences, or maybe it's remodeling your house or whatever. If that brings you quality of life today, that's okay, as
Yeah.
long as we're also at least considering, okay, is this going to jeopardize our future? And then it's just a trade-off of values and priorities.
Yeah, and I appreciate our approach to financial planning. I think it's so important to have that balance and to make sure people are prioritizing their values, motivations, priorities, and goals. So that is very important. And it's definitely beneficial to our clients to be able to shift their frame of reference and shift their focus onto what's most important to them. And like you said, that goes back to being content. Now, lastly, is there anything that you used to prioritize that is no longer, you no longer feel is essential?
Well, there's a lot of things
Mhm.
that shift and evolve over life. When you're young and you're first earning a decent income, and all of a sudden it feels like traveling, maybe staying in a nicer place, going out to eat. When I was younger, going out to eat was this experience of like, I've never been to this type of place, or I've
Mhm.
never felt like I could order this type of meal. And then what I found over time was going to, let's say, a nicer place, for example, and a more expensive place. I've been there and done that.
Mhm.
And what happens to me personally is if I go to a place where my expectations are particularly high, a lot of times that is a more expensive place, and you expect a higher or a better experience. And then you go there, I'm almost always disappointed. Not because it's bad, it's just it didn't live up to expectations. And then if I go to, a place where, maybe it's low cost, maybe you've been there a lot and you look at it and you go, okay, I don't have high expectations. I walk away going, that was fantastic. So I think for me, one of the biggest revelations over time is the things that are expected to be at a higher level, or you anticipate, like, okay, I finally reached that level and I can do this thing, are far more disappointing to me
Hmm.
than the things that I just look at and I say, okay, this was a great experience. I don't care if it cost me $5 or $20 or whatever.
Hmm.
It met or exceeded my expectations. So I think for me, it was that idea of not having to spend more in order to have more. Money is
Yeah.
not an indicator. Like, you always hear people say you get what you pay for.
Hmm.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
I think there are certainly some examples where we could do that. But for me, I think the realization of you don't get what you pay for, you get what you expect. And
Oh,
if you
that is
get
so good.
that, that is a powerful motivator for you to think and a change in perspective. How about
Oh.
you?
um I don't know if there's anything that I no longer prioritize. I think for me, just financially, I just don't. I think money. I don't prioritize money as much as I used to. That, yeah. I do not prioritize money as much as I used to. I really try to, like we do, focus on our quality of life and quality of life goals, and just doing the things that make me happy and bring me joy. Um, I used to, I was a big Dave Ramsey follower back in my day. So I was really always stressed. It created stress, really. I was really always stressed about money, but I just don't have that concern anymore. Not to say I don't have financial goals, but it's just not something that I think about.
So why do you think that shifted?
I think it came with age, experience, wisdom, understanding that life is dynamic, understanding that every day is a new day, and I will achieve my goals at some point. It doesn't have to be just this, he references beans and rice. I don't have to live like that. Yeah, but I just think that came with age. I don't know. I think the older I get, the less I worry about things. I just
I
kind of
think
take
one
things
of
as they
the
come.
that whole age and wisdom thing
Hmm.
is so true, because when you're younger, you feel like you need to do these things now.
Yes.
And then as you get older, you start to go, okay, I don't need to do that right now.
Yes.
I can take my time, I can have patience. I know I'm going to
Yes.
get to that finish line, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And I think you get more comfortable with the idea of I can accept where I'm at today.
Yes.
And I've got plenty of time to think about what I need to do for the future.
Yes. Exactly. You articulated that so well. Thank you so much. Well, this has been a great conversation. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone watching. And until next time, have a good one.
Thanks, Leah.